Hey guys, what's up? Nitty Gaming here, and today I'll be teaching you guys how to actually. This is an update on my previous video on how to tweak Windows 10 and make performance better. This is an in detail video on how to tweak Windows 10 to a further extent using the registered editor as well and some other small tweaks. And this way you get a dramatic increase in FPS in games, and your computer will generally be faster than it used to be. So this will work well on the latest update of Windows and the registered version of Windows. This needs to be an if your Windows is a fresh install, like if there's not much bloatware on your one like mine here, then it will be very effective. Otherwise, just do a clean install of Windows and then get to the video. And your Windows needs to be up to date. As you can see, my Windows is up to date. If yours is not, you can check for updates and update it. And after that, you can get back to the video. So let's go on with the tutorial. Let's start with the basics right now, and then move on to the harder stuff generally. And first up, let's go to system settings. Just click your start button, and then click this settings icon over here. And then ignore this. This is just something related to my PS3 controller. I made a video on that too. There should be a card right over here right now. Okay. Where was I? You should go to your system and then actually go to notifications and actions. Make sure all of these are unchecked. My ones are, or I unchecked them previously. So make sure all of these are unchecked. I'm gonna leave it. You can pause the video and uncheck them, and then go to focus assist and just turn it off. This does what focus assist does is it slows down your computer, because it runs in the background to make sure whether a game or whether the display is being duplicated or whether those stuff are being done. But then when I turn all these off, what will happen is the background tasks will just stop working. As you can see, there won't be a focus assist background task right now. After that, this here, it's nothing to do right here. Storage, nothing to do again here. Multitasking, I prefer to keep this turned on because I can transfer files and everything. But I have heard that turning this off increases performance as well. So if your computer is very weak, you can turn this off as well. But this makes only a small impact. Make sure protecting for this PC is turned off, because if you are using this, and make sure this is first time only. If you are using this, then obviously don't turn it off. Otherwise, you turn it off. And shared experiences, turn it off. If you are using it, don't turn it off. So I'm not using it, so I turned it off. And remote desktop is off. Most of the people won't use this right now. And then, so we are done with the system tab right now. You can go back, and then next up, guys, you're gonna want to go to this apps tab right here, and then click on the offline maps option after this loads up. Why isn't it loading up? Okay, go back, offline maps, and then what you're gonna want to do is, by default, this will be turned on and this will be turned on. Just turn those two off. The chances you're not gonna be using maps with a Windows computer. You won't be taking your laptop and using maps, so just delete all maps and click on delete all maps. And then what you want to do is, guys, go back to your tab, the main settings tab, and then you have to go back to apps, and then you have to go to apps or websites, and then make sure all of these are turned off. Make sure each and every one of these is turned off. What this will stop is those pop-ups that come randomly, like web pages, maps, and many other things. So those things will be turned off. These pop-ups will stop permanently. So then, guys, you're gonna want to go back to home. Guys, you're gonna want to go to this privacy tab right here. This is quite important, guys, because this is what mainly slows down Windows 10. Like, this separates Windows 7 from Windows 10. What this does is, it basically slows down your computer and gives away your private information to the internet. So first of all, you're gonna want to uncheck all of these, turn them to the off position. Everything, like if if any of these you are going to be using, then don't turn them off, but you aren't going to be using this obviously. And then make sure, okay, nothing to do on this tab. Make sure feedback is set to basic, and then make sure all of these are turned off, and then delete that diagnostic data. Activate history, and then uncheck this and uncheck this, and then clear my activity history. And then there's going to be a lot of tabs over here. Go to each and every tab, and as you can see, it's turned off in my one. Everything is turned off. If you are using the microphone like I am now, don't turn it off. I'm not using the camera right now, so I turned it off. I'm using the mic right now, so I won't turn it off right now. And then you're going to want to go into your notifications, and then when it loads up, uncheck this, and then go down to account info, and then uncheck this. Then go to contacts, and once again uncheck this. Likewise, you're going to want to uncheck all of the other tabs right here. So let's uncheck all of them. Other devices, I'm going to leave it checked. Then background apps, I'm going to uncheck everything, like nothing's going to be checked, because this is a big factor when it comes to performance. App diagnostics, I'm going to uncheck. Automatic file downloads, I don't use OneDrive, so it's not going to come up. Documents, and once again uncheck. Pictures, uncheck. Videos, uncheck. File system, uncheck. And now we are done with this tab. Go back to your home. Guys, we are done with the actual Windows settings tweaking now. We can close this up. And now what we are going to do is we are going to go into the actual settings of Windows and make sure we are not holding back any performance from the computer itself. So to do this, you are going to want to actually click start. If you don't have this PC shortcut over here, you are going to want to click start and then type in this PC. And then you are going to want to right click this and then go to properties. When this comes up, go to advanced system settings. From here, if you are in this tab, switch over to the advanced tab and then click on performance settings. I personally use this, but if your computer is actually that crappy, if it's like, if it takes more than 15 minutes to just load up Windows, then you might want to click this and click on apply. What this will basically do is just make Windows look very bad. Like, as you can see, the text doesn't look that good. It's too sharp. It's not soft at all. So as you can see, it's really ugly right now. So I'm gonna just use Windows. If your computer is really low performing, then you might want to click for best performance. Or if you want to get a little more FPS in games, you can click this, launch the game, play it, and after you're done with it, you can set it back to this. So I'm going to set it to this, and then you have to go to the advanced tab, and by default, once again, this will be on background services. Shift it back to programs, and then go to the page file settings. I personally use this with the Windows C as a system management because all my games are stored here. Make sure you make if you have only one hard disk, make sure you make another partition. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Go to start and type partition. You can type party and then you get partition and click on this. After the actual disk management service comes up like this, you're going to wait until it loads, and after that you're going to have to locate where your games are stored. As you can see, I have two hard disks right now. One is this and one is this. This is just a recovery thing, and my games are stored all over here. So this is just my boot drive. After that, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna use your boot drive, or if you have only one hard disk, the two disks won't come up. You're gonna have just one disk. So right click on that disk and type shrink volume. And after that, after this query completes, you're gonna get a little tab that says, where is it? It's taking longer than usual for some reason. Come on. Okay, finally got it. Then you're gonna select. So this is in megabytes. So about 10 gigs is enough for the virtual disk. I mean the virtual memory. Right here, the virtual memory. 10 gigs is more than enough. And this is once again, if you're running like a system with 8 gigs of RAM like me, you don't need to follow this. it's more than enough. If it's 4 gigs or even 2 gigs, or if it's 1 gig, I'm sorry for those guys. If it's 1 gig or 2 gigs or 4, can be between those. If it's below 4, if it's basically below 8, if it's below 8, then you might want to do this. Set this to 10,000 and then shrink the volume. I'm not gonna do it because my games will get, no, my games won't get formatted because it's gonna form a new volume. And when it forms that new volume, after it's all done shrinking the volume, I'm gonna make sure I have 10 gigs left. Yeah, I do. And then you'll get this 9.77 GB unallocated. Click on new simple volume and just keep on clicking next and then finish. And then it will format and form a new volume. As you can see, it just opened up. It's a totally empty hard disk. And then from here, you're gonna want to close this and click on change again. If that doesn't still come up, close this and go over here, click advanced and click on change. As you can see, it has come up. And what you want to do is set no paging file for the Windows directory and click on set, and then go to F and set a system managed paging file. And now you're done with that. You're gonna restart your computer, but not yet. After this, you can restart later. You're gonna close this tab, and then guys, we're gonna be doing a cleanup on our startup items. First, okay, I didn't tell you what to do. You're gonna find your notification bar and right click it, and then click on Task Manager. After this, you're gonna maximize the window and then go up to Startup. For me, everything is enabled because I haven't tweaked it yet. I forgot to do this. So first of all, just right click and disable what you don't use. So I'm gonna do that right now, because Adobe can be started up after I started by just typing Adobe Photoshop. As you can see, you can just start it up separately, even BitTorrent, and it can be started up separately. As you can see, BitTorrent, you can start it up. CCleaner, Java, OneDrive. I don't use Redmi anymore, so I disable it because once again that decreases performance. I need Realtek or HD Audio Manager, otherwise I won't hear the sound. I need this to connect my PlayStation controller, and then uncheck these two. Make sure Defender is unchecked because Defender slows down your computer a lot. It doesn't catch the proper viruses. It catches cracks, not viruses. Like cracked games, it catches those as viruses. I don't know why. So then, now guys, you're gonna go, and now what we are basically doing is making sure your software of the PC isn't holding back on the hardware of your computer. Like if you have an 8-core CPU, we are gonna make sure it's not limited to 4 cores. And if your RAM is 16, we are gonna make sure it's not limited to 8. So something like that. So to do this, you're gonna click on the Windows button and then type in msconfig. In Windows 10, you can just search system configuration, and then this will come up. But in all the computers, you have to manually type msconfig and then click OK. Then it will bring up this tab right over here. Make sure selective startup is turned off and this is set to normal startup, because selective startup once again slows up your startup. Go to boot, and here is where we are going to uncheck no GUI. We're going to check no GUI boot, because then once again this will decrease your boot time by a lot. This actually does decrease your boot time by a lot. And then if your computer is fast, you're going to set it to 5. If your computer is faster, you can set it to a low number, but 5 is all my computer can handle. The timeout is basically the OS changing thing. I'm not going to be using it because I use only one OS. And from here, you're going to click on advanced options when you're selected the default OS you use. And then from here, what you're going to do is check number of processors, and then make sure you do the maximum you can. And then you're going to check maximum memory and do it. And say it's your computer detects all 4 cores and it detects all 8 gigs of RAM like mine, then you don't need to do this. You can just uncheck both of these. So what this does is it doesn't limit anything. So it just stays at that level. The more cores you add, the more memory it adds, this level increases. So in my computer, all 8 gigs, 7.9, because 72 MB is reserved. 72 MB won't decrease performance, and it's at a pretty awkward speed. It was at 1800. I don't know why it dropped to 720, and CPU is running at 4.13 overclocked. Sorry about that noise. That was my phone. And now you're gonna go ahead and close this up. And now that you have done all this, go to services. And from here, this you have to spend a proper about 30 minutes unchecking all the services that you don't use. Like, if you are not sure, like, don't uncheck the Microsoft ones. So just hide all Microsoft services. And from here, you can uncheck. I don't use Adobe Flash Player like that. You can uncheck all the ones that you don't use. For me, I'm not gonna do that because that will just take too much time. Next up, that's it from the system configuration. You can hit OK, and then don't show this message again because I don't want to get this message again when I tweak something. And then exit without restart. And then guys, now guys, what we're going to be doing is kind of a minor tweak. So this is quite easy, but this increases performance by a small amount, but it does increase performance. I have experienced it. So now we are going to be tweaking the audio of your device. So then click on the Windows button and then just type in sound and then click enter, hit enter. Now you will see that the default device you use is marked with a green tick over here. Right click on that and click on properties. Go to enhancements and make sure disable all sound effects is selected. That's pretty much it. I personally like to leave this at 4800 because that 192,000 is overkill for a tutorial PC and a gaming PC, because you won't get any difference, but only your computer will slow down. So 24-bit 4800 is more 48,000. Is it 480,000? Not sure. Can't see. 48,000. Yeah, it's 48,000. You can just leave it at that and then click OK and click OK. Click OK once again. Now what you guys are going to make sure that high performance mode in your PC is turned on. So this is kind of a trick that most of you must have already done. So this is self-explanatory. Click on the start button and type in edit, and then the first thing you will get up is edit power plan. Click enter, and then I'm gonna wait. This should be never. I said it to never. It keeps changing. But what you'll get is this. You're gonna want to go to power options right over here, and then your one will be on balanced or power saver. By default, you're gonna change this to high performance, and double check whether your computer is using all the processor power that it can. Click on edit plan settings and then click on advanced power settings. And go to processor power management and make sure this setting is at 100, and make sure this setting is at 100, and make sure the system cooling policy is at active while it's on high performance. If it's a laptop, you don't need to put it in active. If it's a PC, it has to be on active, because otherwise your fan will just shut off and your PC will overheat every time you turn it on. This will be a big problem because you won't be able to change this. Your computer will start turning off. You'll have to do a clean install of Windows to fix it. That's not convenient in any way. What you're gonna want to do is now close this out, and then guys, what we're gonna be doing is basically tweaking the register editor to make sure our computer is at maximum, performing at its best without any limitations. So click on the start button right now, or what you can do is click on the Windows button and R at the same time. But for the beginners, you can type in run and then click enter. Type in reg edit, so reg edit, and then click enter. So you get the register editor. From here it's gonna look confusing, but if you follow along with this video and if you do everything right, it won't be very hard. First of all, you're gonna want to go over to the actual local machine directory, and then inside of here we are gonna go to software, and then once this opens up, you're gonna go to Microsoft, and then this tab will open up. Make sure you scroll down all the way to the bottom until you find the Windows NT folder. and then open that up, and then go to current version, and then you're gonna want to open this folder, and then once again scroll all the way down until you find multimedia. It's over here, right? Yeah, it's over here. And then make sure you go system profile, and then click it just once, because we are going to be changing one of these values. So you'll see network throttling, and then system responsiveness. We are going to be changing the system responsiveness and network throttling. So first of all, you're going to double click network throttling and make sure this value is at, we are going to be making sure this value is at FFFF. So this is just about 8 Fs. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So that's right, and then click on OK. And after that, you're going to want to change system responsiveness to 0. It will be at 1 by default. You're going to change it to 0. After that, you're going to close this out and go into the system profile tasks, and then you're going to go into games, and from here what you're going to do is set GPU priority to 8. Make sure you set it to 8, and then click OK. After this, what you're going to do is go ahead and click on priority, and then set this to 6, and that's it in this tab. Okay, then after that, you're going to go into the scheduling category and set it to high. Just type HIGH and click OK, and then you're going to go back and close, or just exit out of the registry editor. And then guys, what we are going to be doing is cleaning out all the junk files that can in a way slow down your system. There's a possibility. So to do this, you're going to click on the start button, and while holding shift, you're going to press the 5 key twice. You get 2 percentage marks. Then go to the middle of those two, type in app data, and then click on enter. You get this folder. You're going to open it up, and then go to local. You're going to be going to local, and then go to temp. And once we have actually gone to temp, we're going to hit Control and A to select all of these files and delete them. So some files must not be okay. All the files deleted. Sometimes you get an error that this file is being used, so then skip that file and delete everything else. And do the same thing for local low as well. There's no temp file here. So it's only in local. So local, temp, and clean everything out. And after this, guys, you're gonna want, for this next part, we are going to be using an application called CPU Core Parking. So I'll leave the link for this application down in the description below. You're going to open this up, and then guys, you're going to wait until it opens up. And after it opens up, it'll load for a while, because this is the first time it opened. And from here, what you're going to do is this will come up. This is an actual bug in the software. This always comes up, no matter how much I try to fix it, it just comes up. You can close this. That won't make any difference for your computer. Make sure the system power plan is set to high performance, and make sure all of these sliders are maxed out at the maximum possible frequency and core parking index, the maximum possible value they can be at. So after you're doing that, click on apply, and then click on refresh. Just close it up, and now what you have done is just you have increased the core speed of your computer. You have made sure that the computer actually turbo boosts to the set frequency that it can, and that it performs well in most cases. So this is going to help improve a lot of rendering speeds in Vegas Pro and Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro, right? Yeah, Premiere. Stuff like that, video editing. It's going to be lightning fast. Cinebench scores are going to be better. Your game FPS is going to be better by doing that. You'll note that the heat levels will go up quite, not significantly, just a little bit, quite a bit. So this is not something to be worried about, because temperatures doesn't, in my case, in my cooler, even overclocked, and using this, the maximum temperature I recorded under load was 68, something like that. So that's not good, but that's okay under load, because your CPU is not going to be under load. This was after an 2-hour test. Your CPU is not going to be under load for 2 hours straight. It fluctuates. And now guys, what you're going to want to do is download an application called CCleaner, and then just open it up. CCleaner. I'll leave the link for this also in the description. You have to just install and then open it up. It will say that only my one is only 4 days remaining, because I used this as a trial. I'm gonna use not right now. You can just keep on reinstalling this application until you get the actual like the trial lasts I think a month. You can keep on reinstalling this application to extend the trial period, and this application will be used only once a month, because you don't need to clean your computer every month, every day. This is like a monthly thing. So you're gonna analyze. Now what this is gonna do is scan your computer for all like unneeded, unnecessary files, and it found about a gig of unnecessary files. And I'm gonna run the cleaner, and I'm gonna continue. What it is doing right now is just uninstalling all those unneeded files, deleting them, not uninstalling them. You don't uninstall files. After this completes, guys, you're gonna go to applications, and then sorry, you're gonna go into tools. After this completes, we just completed, and then you're gonna go into tools, and you're gonna go into uninstall. So what this will do is give you the option to uninstall things that the traditional control panel uninstall bar doesn't give you. So there's gonna be more things over here. As you can see, this thing ends with WinRAR. You can even uninstall the Xbox apps, like the Windows apps. Those apps you have the chance to uninstall them. So if you see any adware, bloatware, what you don't need, go ahead and uninstall it without any doubt. It will uninstall without problem. So then go to startup, and once again from here, uncheck the ones you don't need, like we did in Task Manager, but this is more into detail. That's it from over here. There are various other things you can do, like smart cleaning, some things like that, but we have done the basics, what you actually need to do in the CCleaner tab. Now I save the last for the one that takes the most amount of time. This is defragmenting drives. This is a really obvious, and this is a really not that hard to do tweak. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna type defrag from the start, and then open this up. I already opened it up right now, as you saw. Now this is a USB drive. I'm gonna eject it right now to show you that it's not a hard disk drive. Come on. Now I ejected the USB. If I close this now and I open the defrag tab again, as you can see, that thing has disappeared. I don't know what this is. I don't have that many volumes in here. I have only 3 volumes. Ignore this once again, the PS3 stuff. This volume. This is a page file. I told you guys before, the page file I created. So ignore these stuff. So focus on the main directories that you're going to be using. Mine is Windows directory and the gaming directory. More than the gaming directory, the Windows one, because the Windows boot speed is mainly affected by this. Game loading speeds are affected by this a lot. So let me explain this process to you. What this does is, as you delete files along the computer's life, what it does is files are stored in the hard disk. So when files are deleted, spaces are created in between the hard disk. Like, files aren't stored in a particular order. So when they are deleted, the hard disk has files all over it. What this does is bring all those files into an organized manner without having. So then the hard disk won't have to work hard going to place to place trying to delete the files. So this will actually improve performance and improve boot times. You're going to click on Analyze, and after it's completely analyzed, you're going to click on Optimize. and let's wait on it. Okay, I'm not gonna wait, I'm just gonna stop, and make sure you click optimize for this and optimize for this. Just optimize all the hard disks you have. So after you doing that, you have to restart your computer. Let's wait until it completes. And okay, this is gonna take some time. Okay guys, I didn't run it right now because it's gonna take more than 2 hours to finish it, and this video is too long right now. So we're gonna you have to optimize those two, and then close this tab, and then restart your PC. And when you after you restart it, you'll know that you have gained more frames, you have decreased the boot time, increased performance, made your computers more snappy overall. If you have, please leave a like. If you haven't, leave a comment below as to what your problem is and how you want to increase performance right now, and whether this video was completely useless. And if you actually got something useful out of this video, please recommend this to your friends, and please subscribe to my channel, and share this video once again. Thanks for watching guys. Peace out.